What is up, everybody? It's your boy BGT, and I am super excited to be here on the CCP podcast. Watch greatness prevail. Watch me take the moment from everyone else. Out of all the people they've had, they finally got a good one. They got the baddie, they got the greatest, they got the talented, the BGT, and that's obviously.
Friends of CCP Podcasting, welcome back to Beyond the Bell Live. I am Chris Page, and that is Todrick Tabar Ramsey, and this is going to be another fantastic conversation that we're going to have here tonight on Beyond the Bell. Toddy, happy Wednesday, brother. How are you?
Happy Wednesday to you as well. Road to retirement continues. I've got another week and a half left, and then I start my terminal leave. So I'm excited, and also excited that I could be here tonight because I am really excited about the guests that we're going to have on the air. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of good information and learn a lot of great things. So I cannot wait. What more can you ask for?
You can't ask for a whole lot, am I right? Like it's going to be great tonight. First of all, before we get too deep into the party, welcome everybody. We see you in chat. UK Paul, the streak continues. You're at 80 now. Congratulations, sir. You only got 20 more to go. And then I'm going to pop a secret stream on you when you're at 99, and it's all going to go away. And you can thank me for it later. If you guys, before we get too deep in the party, if you guys like what we got going on here, you can always support us at our streamlabs.com /CCPE podcasting /tip. All proceeds that we donate or you guys donate to our channel goes right back into the independent scene. And you can help be a part of that at any point in time. Toddy, Arizona has been a place that we've been visiting here a little bit lately, and tonight's no exception. When we teed this one up, probably about a month or so ago, I wish I had dates that were sooner. We were just slammed, but we got it set. It has been a long time coming. Our guest tonight is also, not only is he a professional wrestler, he's the owner of KingSlayer Wrestling out of Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. I almost said Rampage Brown. Rampage Michaels. My bad. I don't know where Brown was coming from there, bud.
Brown.
I
Oh,
don't
Brown.
fucking know.
Man, Rampage Brown.
Oh my God. Hold on. Let me do this
Oh,
again. You know what? I got to go by. Hold on. We're going to do this one more
just want to
time.
warn that.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to us today from the great state of Arizona. You may know him if you're on the scene down there. And if not, you're going to get to know a lot more about him right here, right now. He is the owner of KingSlayer Wrestling. He is also a professional wrestler himself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. The one, the only, Mr. Rampage Michaels. Welcome to Beyond the Bell, sir.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. Excited. There's a lot to share today, so I'm excited to be here. And thank you.
I see.
Thank you for having me.
Oh man, it's my pleasure. It was an intro so nice we had to do it twice. I'm glad to be able to finally get down and sit down and talk to you. Like I said, we teed this one up about a month ago on through DMs, and finally the day is here. And not only am I stoked to get to know a lot more about you, I'm also stoked to get to know a lot about KingSlayer Wrestling as we get a little deeper into our conversation. Before we get there, Toddy, say hello, sir.
Welcome to the show. We are so happy to have you here this evening. I know this is going to be a great conversation. Just from talking to you a little bit before the show, you have an infectious personality, and I know I'm going to have a really good time. So, welcome.
Thank you. Like I said, I'm excited to be here. I can just already tell off the energy that we're gonna have a great time tonight. So, I'm excited.
We typically always do. There's only been one that we didn't have a good time on, and unless your name's Matthew Ennis, I think we're in good shape. So, brother, when we sit down and we chat with you guys, for me, I'm always find it interesting to know where professional wrestling intersects with you. At what point in time in your life did you fall in love, and what drew you in when you were back, to get you into your fandom? What's that look like for you?
Mm-hmm. So this is actually like a funny story. So I will never forget this day. I was honestly probably like around like maybe like this is like 2003. So I remember this was like the first Royal Rumble. I know I was just like a little kid. And all of a sudden I was in my bedroom, and all of a sudden I just started hearing just like banging like on TV, and just two people just like screaming, and then my mom just like going like, "Oh, get him!" So I'm just like, "What?" I'm like, "All right, like what's going on?" So like I ran into the living room, and then all of a sudden I see like it was like wrestling, and my mom was watching the 2003 Royal Rumble, and all of a sudden, this is when the Undertaker came back, and like Brock Lesnar, the Dudley Boys, and I'm just like so fascinated in like all this, and I was like, wow, I was like, this is amazing. And I remember this is when they had the pay per view, of course, on the cable vision, and you had to like watch like the replay, you had to tape it. I remember I had school the next morning, stood up late that night, rewatched the whole Royal Rumble, and then from that day, my mom was like, "Well, since you like that, I might as well show you the collection." And all of a sudden, she just showed me all these cassette tapes, WCW, WWF, like, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "What?" And like one by one, I started watching like WCW, and I just got like fascinated into wrestling. And then I just went to Walmart, got my first wrestling action figure, and I just started like collecting action figures. And when I mean like I put all their toys aside, and it just became wrestling. I just started collecting everything wrestling, watching wrestling, just T-shirts. Like when I mean like anything wrestling, that's all I like moved on, and that's honestly like how I got started.
So can you
Scary.
do me a favor at some point in time? The next time you talk to Mama Michaels, can you tell her I said thank you for opening, Pandora's box of professional wrestling to you? Because that's just like the best gift of all time. And I kind of got to know.
Um,
I kind of got to know when you're watching the old school WCW stuff. Who were some of your favorites? As it may get me heat. I was a WCW guy too. I was an old EWA guy. So when I hear you say old WCW tapes, and it's that 2002
yeah,
era, so I'm just kind of curious. I mean, the Fed's closed at that point, but what
yeah.
were some of the tapes that drew you in when you were watching some of the old school WCW stuff?
So it's crazy because this is actually going to tie into what I'm going to talk about like an event, my first event that I had. But Bash at the Beach, I believe that was it. This is where they had like the two wrestling rings.
Mhm.
And I was like, what? I was like, what is going on? I was like, this is so cool. And then I remember watching when Hulk Hogan he first like came to WCW, and when he did the famous leg drop and the whole NWO, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, no way. And between that, Dean Malenko, the Four Horsemen, I was very big on like watching like Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, um, Sting whenever he like dropped from the pillars. Pretty much like I was very big on like NWO. I would always like fast forward to like NWO stuff, just seeing them spray paint like everybody, and just like seeing Hulk Hogan come out with the guitar, like literally like and then between like like Ric Flair, but mainly just WCW was I feel that like that was like a huge like inspiration on like my move set now, and just like in general, like I wish it never died out the way it did, but WCW honestly, like that's how I started. That's how I could say I got into wrestling. That I was a WCW guy, where the big boys play.
I like that. And it's also special because it's a memory with your mom. We have those memories with our parents that, something sparks and it just sticks. And that's a story that is always going to be special. So it's no wonder that you're in this business. Which brings me
It,
to, go ahead.
oh no, no, I was gonna say it's very special because my mother, she actually she passed away this past January, and that's why like wrestling means like so much to me. It and that's why like I'm inspired like to keep going, and that's why there's so much to it, but we'll get into it. I didn't even tell cut you off, but that's why going back on those memories and just cherishing those days, it's like it's just crazy because I just never thought that like I would be like like where I am at like right now, just from just I just from when I remember, just putting that cassette tape in and just saying like, wow, I'm really gonna do this one day. And I'm doing it.
Well, when did you decide that this is what you wanted to do? And then once you said, okay, this is it, what were you looking for?
Mhm. So this is actually a funny story. So Kurt Angle actually came here. This was 2 years ago for autograph signing. And my buddy, good family friend, Dewan, I was like, hey man, I was like, you're into wrestling. I was like, let's go meet Kurt Angle. I was like, let's go for autograph signing. And he was like, I don't know, man. Like maybe. So like I like convinced him. Like like we waited in line for about like an hour and a half. This was at the Wrestling Guy store in Phoenix, Arizona. And I just want to shout out Tony, amazing owner. But we're waiting outside, and all of a sudden, I was like, "Hey, man, I'm kind of getting a little hungry." There was a Subway like 2 stores down, so I was like, "I'm gonna go get us something to eat real quick." So I'm walking, and all of a sudden, I see that there's a collectible store like right next. Right next, I was like, okay. I was like, let me just stop in here real quick. I walk in, and like they just got done doing like a autograph signing for like independent wrestling thing called IZW, and the guy was giving away like free tickets. And all of a sudden, I was like, ooh, I was like, all right, I was like, I'm gonna go get Kurt Angle's autograph real quick. Then I was like, I'll be right back. I was like, I'm very interested in this. So long story short, get Kurt Angle's autograph, go to the store. I convinced my friend to come with me. I was like, hey man, I was like, let's go to this independent wrestling thing. The guy's giving us tickets. So I was like, come on, let's go. I was like, I'll throw you gas money. I was like, come on. I was like, I'll get a drink. I was like, let's go. It's on me. I was like, come on. So I convinced him to go. And it was IZW. It was like red, white, and bruised. And all of a sudden I was just like just watching everything, just seeing like, how the independent scene was. And I was like, wow, I was like, if I can get in shape, I think I could do this. I was like, I think I could really like compete with some of these people. I was like, I think if I really gave it a shot, I think I might, might be able to do it. So the main event, it was like some guy, R3. It was his like last match, and pretty much like they were doing everything that I love. Putting each other through doors, steel chairs, like just like working up the crowd, doing all that stuff. And I was like, wow, I was like, it was a great match. I ended up going up to the champion at the end of the show, shook his hand. And I was like, hope to see you one day, man. I was like, this is a great show. And as soon as I left, I said to my buddy, I was like, hey, I was like maybe like 300 pounds like, at the time. I was a big boy, and I was like, hey, I was like, I'm gonna get in shape. I was like, I'm gonna become a professional wrestler. I was like, I really want to do this. And he was like, well, I got you. I was like, I'll be with you this whole journey, man. He was like, you want to do it? I support you. And he was like, yo, I'll help you train. And literally, like, I got to the point where I was like, okay, I got in shape. I was like, I lost about like 35 pounds. I was like, okay, I'm still, not where I want to be, but like, it was a start. And I was like, I really want to get into this. So I found TCW. It's Phoenix Championship Wrestling. They're out here in Mesa, Arizona. And I went through an interview, and all of a sudden they were like, all right, come for this tryout. Went to the tryout, and I failed. Like I finished like maybe like third to last. Like I honestly, I wanted to give up. Like I didn't know like the training portion was like it's a complete different animal. Like I was in the gym like every single day, just like lifting, doing cardio, but like I wasn't focusing on like the calisthenics part of like wrestling. And like I didn't expect to do bear crawls and run around the ring and flip like a 500-pound tire, then then do push-ups and do burpees and do all that. And I just wasn't prepared. And I was like, honestly, I was about to give up. But then I got into lucha libre wrestling. And my buddy I met somebody, this guy named Pop Chulo, and he kind of got me into. He was like, "Hey man, like don't give up. I see a lot in you. You just need to focus." And I was like, okay. And I was like, I started lucha libre, and I was like, okay. It kind of like got me into like, this is fun. Like we're a family here. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I really want to pursue this. So I was like, let me get into the American style of wrestling now. and I went to Arizona Wrestling Federation, the other training facility. There's only 2 training centers out here in Phoenix, so it's like you're kind of like, so it's like if you're not good at A, you have a chance to go to B, and if you don't fit in at B, then it's like
you're
what
fucked.
do you do, right? so pretty much like I failed at the first place, and then I went to lucha training, right? So then they saw that I was doing lucha. So the first place told me to pretty much like fuck off. But like I was like, wow. I was like, all right. I was like, I was just trying to get better, but like they saw it as like disrespect because they thought I was like kind of like cheating because like they saw me in the ring like after trying out, and like their philosophy was you have to earn your way into the ring, and apparently like like the picture got around that, oh hey, that's the guy that tried out and he was in the ring, so like like they kind of just like said, all right, you're gone. Option B was the lucha, and like the language barrier got to a point where I was like, hey, like okay, like I understand you want me to do this, do that, but like I'm like a 280-pound guy, and you want me to do a sunset flip, do this, do this, do this. I'm like, hey man, like like the whole, like I was getting it, but like I was getting lost in like just like the putting the matches together. It was just like the language barrier was just kind of throwing me off. So then that option was like, all right, that's gone. So now 2 out of the 3 are I only have 1 option left, and this was Arizona Wrestling Federation. And boy, I tell you, what a journey. I could say that there are people there that care, but my trainer LT, he was formerly in WWE. If it wasn't for him, and like there's like a lot of backlash on like my trainer, like like there's people say, oh, he got canceled, this, that, but like this guy, when I mean like from the bottom of his heart, like he doesn't get paid a dime, right? And he comes and when I mean puts in the work to get you better to the next level, and when I mean like got me to where I am right now, like I'm not like the best out there. Now, don't get me wrong, like, I still have a lot to learn, but put that confidence in me to say, hey man, the only person that could stop you from wrestling is yourself. The only person that's going to stop you from getting to the big show is yourself. Do you want to do this? And I was like, I do. So literally the first day, right, he made me jump off the top rope. He made me go over the top rope. He made me run the ropes. He made me jump over a chair. He made me like do so much stuff. And he was like, hey, you want to do this? And I was like, fuck yeah, I want to do this. I was like, man, I was like, I like this is what I live for. I was like, I never felt like such like a different person before, because like the level of support that like he was just say, hey, don't give up, don't give up. And literally I just I said to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm like, I'm not gonna put myself through all this pain, through all this suffering, through all the there was days where I sacrificed whatever money I had to make sure that I paid for training, that like I was able to like get there on time. Like, man, I can't even tell you, like I took a bus, I walked, I Ubered, like between having my friends drop me off, like taking a light rail, like I'm telling you, like the dedication that I put in to wrestling, like it's crazy. Like that's why like when people say like what does wrestling owe you and this that you got to pay your dues, there's more to wrestling than just wrestling. Yeah, I just want to put that out there. But it's just like it's crazy. It's just so hard to say, because like it's there's so many people that like I could just keep shouting out, but at the end of it, Arizona Wrestling Federation wasn't the right place, right? So that training facility, right, that kind of crossed out. So so right now, right, I actually had to like go out of state and I recently just trained in San Diego. I recently
wait. We're at in San Diego.
So if you're familiar, okay, oh my gosh, okay, it's about like I'm really bad with like with like directions and like names, but
if I give you a name, will you recognize it? You would know if it was it Primal Pro Wrestling?
That sounds familiar. I know it's like right by like a It's right by like a college arena. Um, I know it's like about like 20 minutes, 30 minutes away from like Petco Park. Um,
Hmm.
and pretty much like that's like honestly like my only option right now. And like I train, I still kind of do lucha out here, but
Mhm.
right now I'm honestly trying to get into Max Pro. That's something that I'm trying to line up with like my work schedule and just like with the funds right now, just trying to like like make sure that like hey like if I travel and train out of state, that I could
Mhm.
make sure that like everything's going to make sense, especially with like a promotion, wrestling, and being able to do that. But it's honestly it's a crazy journey. Like it really is. It's like I say to myself, I'm like, hey, like nothing's gonna stop me from getting ring time. Like I'm in the gym constantly, like every day. Um, and it's just it's crazy.
Yeah.
Now I'm actually I'm training with Thunder Mountain. I'm actually going to start uh, training with them. That's a promotion that I'm working with right now, actually. And it's about like a good 2-3 hour drive, but the training facility that they have as well. So it's like I have like those options now that are opening up, but it's just trying to find that like one designated spot. It's like
So
I'm
you
praying something happens in Phoenix.
you've laid a lot on me, and I think that there's one thing that we can all unequivocally agree to. Burpees fucking suck. I
Dude,
I
that was the last. That was like one of like the last things we had to do. One of the last things we had to
I
do, and I was like, dude, I was dead at like 3, and then like I was trying to get up, and like by the end of it, like it was so funny because like one of the wrestlers like, dude got so pissed because I literally like busted my ass on like the last 2, and he's like, how come you didn't give me energy on like the other 5, but like the last 2? I was like, it's
first off,
about to finish, right?
I'd be like, first of all,
Like
fuck off. I'm the one doing them, not you. And
I was so pissed.
did
I
they
was so
get
pissed.
done? Yes. Okay. Silence. Like the wrestling
Dude, I was
business
so mad.
it is a wild place. I had my day. I've been there. I've done that. And recently myself is where we were talking a little bit before we came on the air. We were talking a little bit about KingSlayer and how that's it's a new promotion, something that you're working on, and I shared with you
Yep.
something that I not shared with anyone but my team until now, that we're in the same boat. We are also promoting our first show. It is going to be November the 22nd. So I'm kind of getting my taste of the behind the scenes on putting something together and trying to make something work. So I think that you might be able to teach me a little something here. Let's talk a little bit about KingSlayer and
Yeah.
where does this come from? What's the concept? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
give me
Yeah.
the information.
So this is where KingSlayer Wrestling started, and not a lot of people know about this. So if you're watching, this is pretty interesting. This is a crazy story, but I am proud of everybody that is on my team. Number one, as far as KingSlayer Wrestling, this honestly, this is we're changing the valley. But let me tell you how this started. So my mother passed away. This was in January. So I ended up having a tribute event for her because pretty much I was raising funds to bury her in New York. I had enough for as far as like the cremation, getting an urn, and pretty much like like the basic general stuff. This honestly like happened like out of nowhere. I was staying at a friend's house overnight, and then all of a sudden I went to go visit my mom, and I found her, just she was dead on the floor, and
Mm.
like it was just like literally like I said, like out of nowhere, and she was like my like biggest like supporter. She always pushed for me to be a wrestler. I told her that I always wanted to start a company, and she kept like just like setting me up with certain people to get like just financial stuff and just do everything. And out of nowhere, like I said, this happened. So I ended up during the tribute event, and my co-owner of KingSlayer Wrestling, John Johnson, he's one of the number one videographers in Arizona who does like all the wrestling events. And pretty much, I invited him to the show. I was like, hey man, I was like, if you have the time, I was like, I don't want you to bring your camera. I was like, I want you to be there like as like a friend. I was like, if you're able to, come out, I'm gonna throw a benefit show, and like, I told him for the cause, and pretty much, I was like, hey, I was like, if you and the team, would like to be here, I was like, it would be amazing. So pretty much, he said to me, he was like, it would be an honor. He was like, I'm actually going to come from another wrestling event. It was actually a wrestling event, I believe in Goodyear, Arizona. It was called Wrestle Drag. He was like, we're gonna leave that event like right away after we're finished, and we're gonna come to your event, and we're gonna stream the show. We're gonna stream the show. We're gonna put it on our Patreon, and we're gonna help you with this event. And I was like, oh man, like that was like such a blessing. So pretty much, while this event was going on, I was training at Arizona Wrestling Federation. So I get a message at like 11 o'clock at night, right, from the promoter from AWF. Hey, so what is this about, like an event I hear you're throwing? Like message me and, like, or just talk to me tomorrow and I'll, we'll move from there. So pretty much he said to me, he was like, if I throw this event, I'm considered competition to him. So I was like, wait, so you mean to tell me that like my mother just passed away and I want to have a benefit show because I'm trying to raise money so I could place her in New York, and you mean to tell me if I run this show that I'm competition to you? I was like, I was like, this is interesting. I was like, wow. So I told that to John, right, who's like the cameraman, and I was like, hey man, I was like, if we film this and if we do this, do that, I'm considered like competition and the whole 9 yards. And he's like, hey man, like I'm there to support you, and this is for your mother, and this is for you, and the show's gonna have like I'm gonna be there regardless, and like like I hope you don't change your mind, anything like that. And I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna change my mind. So we went on with the show, and the show was great, by the way. Like everybody who came out, it was amazing. Like the amount of support, people that didn't know my mom or knew my mom, were there. Everybody wrestled their hearts out, and it meant a lot. The people that showed up, and pretty much after the show happened, right? This was Monday at Arizona Wrestling Federation with the training, and the promoter says, hey, so that footage of the event, if you put that on the Patreon, then your 6 months, 7 months of like a storyline that I wrote for you, that's all scrapped out. And then our sponsor, Welcome Law Firm, which is like an attorney, who's like, we're going to draw up like a legal contract, and we're going to, there's going to be further precaution. So I'm just like,
hold on,
okay,
hold on.
So I was
hold on. I've sat quiet as long as I can sit, and if anybody knows me, when I call something, I gotta call it. What the who the fuck says who can run where? Last time I checked, this is a free country, and anybody can run a show. As long as, if depending on what states you're in, which some require licenses, some do not. Correct me if I'm wrong. Last time I checked, you can run a show wherever you want to run a show, and nobody can really tell you otherwise. We have friends in Arizona Wrestling Federation, and I'm not so sure how I feel about this. And not so sure what I think, to be perfectly fair. I mean, what you're saying is legitimate. Nope.
There's more to this. There's more to this. And,
oh Jesus Christ!
And trust me, it hurts me. It hurts me like this. Like it hurts me just like as just like human being how all this happened. It just hurts me like how this all like transpired. Like, it's just at the end of the day, right? It's like nobody's out for no revenge. Nobody's out for, oh hey, like, my promotion is gonna be better than yours. It's like, it's this is like a lesson of principle, a lesson of respect, and a lesson of, hey, like, I'm a grown man, and I'm paying respect to my family, and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do when it's like, that's if I'm considered competition. But anyway, so pretty much
I
the
have
option was
so much to say about that.
the show, right? The show that we recorded. So if I put that on the Patreon, then everything is scrapped, donezo, right? They're gonna draw something up. So me and the promoter pretty much like got into a little argument. I said, you know what? I literally told him to his face. I was like, I was like, you told me to cancel some shows. You told me to work on this. You tell me to do this. So I was like, just a list of things. And I was like, the most contact that we've had in this past year was literally this past couple weeks that now I'm doing this show for my mom. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me, right, once again, that if I have footage posted that maybe about like 30, 40 people in the Arizona community are going to maybe see, right? And,
What the
that it
fuck
was
does
a
any of that
benefit show,
matter?
right?
What
Like,
what does it
and
matter?
right, and telling people,
Oh my god.
oh hey, if you do the telling some of my wrestlers, right? I literally asked people. I was like, hey guys, I was like, can you guys put out some promos? I was like, can you guys do this, do this? It was to the point where all of a sudden, out of nowhere, right, randomly, momentum stopped from the wrestlers that I asked. Some wrestlers were being told, oh, by the promoter, oh, so this is going to happen. Oh, I advise if this happens, you know, I take precaution, yada yada yada. So pretty much just like disrupting the whole show, trying to like do everything right. I even thanked him after the show, like, hey, thank you for making this happen. After he forced his way into making, this is an AWF sponsored event, right?
How does that happen?
So
Hold on. How does that
oh
happen?
yeah. So pretty much after finding out like, oh, so who are you gonna rent the ring from? Oh, who's gonna do this? Who's gonna do this? Asking me all these like, 21 questions. I said, I have family friends that are going to help me. I am good friends with the person who, owns the ring, so I'm gonna be reaching out. So everything is, going to like, line up perfectly. Oh, well, how come you don't come to us? How come you don't ask us? And this is the best part, right? So I mentioned that like I would need like a plane ticket, to get out to New York and do all this. Like I was in the middle of like transitioning like to a new job and all that. And then all of a sudden, I was kind of getting bribed to, hey, what if I like paid for your plane ticket? What if you don't like host this event and we could like, kind of like get everything maybe taken care of like in house? So I'm like, oh wait, so you can tell me that like you're gonna try and like like bribe me with like, oh, you'll pay for my ticket now if I don't host this event? Like I'm just so confused. Like when I mean like I'm so mind blown. I'm like, this is my mother. I'm like, this is like my mother that I'm trying to honor, that I'm trying to have an event. Like she loved wrestling, and it's like it all just became completely tarnished. Like, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So pretty much I said I'm like, I'm leaving this federation. I ended up getting into an argument with one of the wrestlers who disrespected my mother too as well. He passed a comment, and I was like, okay, I was like, I can't be in a locker room with you. I was like, I can't be associated with you no more. I was like, my mother has passed, and you're gonna pass a comment. I was like, I can't do it, and I'm not gonna mention names out of respect, but um, it's a reason why the energy at Arizona Wrestling Federation has shifted tremendously. And I literally said, okay, hey, I'm done. I'm leaving this place. I was like, I'm absolutely finished. I was like, it's time. I was like, it's time to follow my dreams and to do what's right. So, I was
First of all, I'm sorry. Number one, like I mean, I know in this line of work, you stuff your stars in a fucking sock usually, but I'm sorry that you had to have that experience. Number one, I this Toddy just said it in chat. Like this, it kind of crushes me to hear this because again, last time I checked, independent wrestling's for everybody. Wrestling is for everybody. There's space for everybody, and one thing that our channel does not do is any kind of tribalism nonsense and any kind of bullshit. At the end of the day, we're more of a, if professional wrestling is thriving, then that just means that there's more places to work for you guys. And at the end of the day, it, again, correct me if I'm wrong, ain't that the goal? Is to get more work? Isn't that the goal?
Exactly.
To like bring your area up, not take your area down. Like this just blows my fucking mind.
I'm telling you, like nobody should ever have to go through what I had to go through. You know, wrestling, like that's why it just truly like ruined my whole wrestling experience. You know, like mentally, like I said, I like I'm so happy that like I have a strong foundation
You
around me
can't do
because
that. You can't allow
it's
that. Listen, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, brother. You can't allow one situation to dictate or determine your passion for anything that you do. It doesn't have to be professional wrestling. It can be life in general. Take it from somebody who's been there. Take it from somebody who has done that and who has made a success out of himself. So fuck that nonsense. That doesn't take anything away from you. That all that did was show true colors, and all that did was show you where you don't need to be. Because I guarantee you, where somebody doesn't want you, there's probably 5 or other places that do. And that's just from experience. And that's just from life in general. Not all situations have to end in a negative context. Toddy will tell you this. One of my sayings, regardless whether it's channel related, my professional life, or my personal life, if something goes wrong, there's always a silver lining. I just got to find it. And once I find the silver lining, that's what I'm going to focus on out of the situation. And that's what, because that's what I can control. I can't control what someone else does. I can't control how someone else feels. If you don't like me, I'm sorry. There's thousands of other people out there that do. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of my view and opinion on it. And you should not, don't, if you allow that to fester, then you give that situation power. And if you give that situation power, it wins. Don't let that happen.
Oh, trust me, like that's why like I can't even tell you like ever since I left, it's been such like I can't even tell you how like I've elevated my life and how just in general good things just started to happen because I started to focus on the bigger picture, and that's why tying into KingSlayer Wrestling, I was sitting down one day, literally just at my desk, and I was saying to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm like, you know, I really want to focus on owning a business. You know, I really want to focus on having my own promotion. I really want to do this, and I have, you know, a few investors that, you know, they kept asking me, hey, like, you know, like, are you ever going to get into this wrestling thing? Like, what's going on? Like, are you going to, like, you know, like, you know, like, come on, like, are you going to start it? Like, what's going on? So, I reached out to John. We've been good friends. He's the co-owner of KingSlayer Wrestling, and he is the videographer that I was talking about earlier. And I said to him, I was like, hey, man, I respect your work. I respect you. I was like, you know, I see you have a vision. And, you know, I really hate seeing that, like, you know, like promotions, like, you know, like are only doing certain things and, like, you know, you can't, like, you know, like just expand and, like, you know, elevate what you want to do. And he was like, okay, what are you trying to say? So I pretty much, kind of like shot him like you know, EIN. Like I was like, hey, I registered a business. I was like, would you be interested in, you know, being like a co-owner with me for a wrestling company? And he was like, hold on, wait a minute, wait, hold on. I'm gonna give you a call later on tonight. This is like, I are you serious right now? And I was like, yeah. I was like, let's do this. I was like, let's do this. So he gives me a call, and he's like, brother, man, please, I need you to elaborate. What did you just send me? And I was like, well, look, man. I was like, I really think that the Arizona scene right now deserves a lot better. I was like, I feel that like we can change the production way of how we present the wrestling product. I feel that we can do things that like not a lot of other companies are doing right now. And I really think that with your production side of everything, I feel that like we can make things work. So, and I was like, what if we assemble, a specific staff? And I started mentioning names. And I was like, what if we, perhaps let's say we have this person for our wrestling ring. We have this person, to be our announcer. We have this person, for the bookings, and we have X, Y, and Z. So he's like, okay. I was like, pretty much John was like, all right, let's set up a meeting and let's try and like make this work. I can't even tell you. We've probably had over 6, 7 meetings, countless hours, times on the phone, like over 2 hours, 3 hours, like trying to figure out, is this really going to work? Are we really going to do this? Are we going to have the money to do it? Are we going to have the building to do it? Are we going to have the insurance? Like, there's so much that goes into running a promotion that I can't even tell you. So we started off, at first, this was going to be Extreme Alliance Wrestling. Our goal was we want to be an alliance. We want to make it fair to everybody in the Arizona scene who wants to wrestle, who wants to earn the right to be on a show, who wants to be a team player, who's leader material, and pretty much they could be themselves and feel comfortable in a locker room. And I was like, I want to make this completely different where it's like, you don't have to be, we're not going to threaten you to, you can't wrestle for this person or you can't wrestle for this company or else you're canceled. No, we're making this someplace where, you're going to be welcomed here. You're going to have a smile on your face as soon as you open the door. And we're going to have live, action-packed, nonstop, like wrestling. Like we're going to change the game. I was like, we're going to make this work. And finally, we were saying, okay, Extreme Alliance Wrestling. What's so extreme? How could we back this up? Right? And then I was like, okay, well, I want to have, like certain stipulations to matches. I want to start like doing this. But then the staff that we kind of had, like, that we were kind of like assigning, like, some of the wrestlers we were, getting, we were like, okay, what's so extreme about this? We were like, okay, like, hold on, team meeting. We had to schedule another meeting, and that was almost like 3.5 hours. And then we had a whole rebranding. We were like, okay, we're done with the old Extreme thing. Trying to get quoted on insurance, that was a pain in the ass. That was, I don't even want to talk about the numbers on that. Like the first one was like a little over $1,200. I was like, wow. I was like, okay. I was like, goodbye. I was like, okay, we gotta figure this out. So we sat down with the owner of IZW and one of the wrestlers, Joe Graves, who is a tremendous person, a great heart. He literally said he cares, about, John, myself, and about like, pretty much like, this company. And he's like, he doesn't want to see us fail. And I can't expose all the details that happened in this meeting, but pretty much we all came to a conclusion. We were like, okay, this is the route we're going to take. And I think this is the best option.
So I want to,
oh,
I do want to ask you something based on that. And just for our audience, because you mentioned the insurance, as a promoter and as a co-owner, just for our audience to know, why is that so important to have that?
Of course. So pretty much insurance is, you need it. Like, that's like the first thing, like, any venue is going to ask you, hey, do you have insurance? Because anybody can get hurt, so that's a main thing. You want to make sure that everybody's covered and that your ass is covered, because, like somebody could jump off the top rope, jump into the crowd, somebody can get hurt, I'm saying, like anything can happen. You always want to have that liability. You always want to have that insurance. And for people out there that have companies and don't have insurance, hey, I advise you should get insurance because it's very important. Um, that's the main thing, especially as a business owner. You want to make sure every single area is covered and safety first. That's the main thing. Safety. Those are the 5 things I live by. So that's the main thing. You need insurance. That's just no other way to it. It's important.
Waivers too. You need those. I'm just saying. Listen, I there's a lot of that resonates because I'm dealing with a lot of this stuff myself, and I'll tell you, I went to a show. This is gonna be funny. I think it's gonna be funny. I went to a show Saturday night, and it was about a 3-hour round trip when it was all said and done. So I'm dead center in the middle of Florida. If I want to go see wrestling, I got to go 1.5 to 2 hours one way to Orlando, or 1.5 to 2 hours to Tampa Bay, Clearwater, or just catch stuff like spot shows around. So I make hoofs, and I made a hoof to a company I'd never seen before. And I'm sitting here, and I'm watching, and it was an okay show. Okay, there were a handful, and by a handful I mean like 3 or 4 that stood out to me, and I was like, all right, now this is worth the price of my ticket, right? I'm starting to count heads, and then I'm looking at how this is being shot. I'm looking at how it's being produced because you can see all this, right? Like I never really paid attention to it, and then I started doing the numbers, and I went, wait a minute, hold on, you just pulled like a $3,000 gate at the end of the day, which is, I guess that's good on the indie scene. Fuck, I don't know. I haven't been on the scene in 25 years. Couldn't tell you. 20 years. And I started doing numbers, and I was like, all right. I put everything together, too. I was like, all right. And I started reaching out to talent. I put the show together in 4 fucking days. And I've got a venue that we're going to secure Friday to do this. And it's not just a pop-up thing. If this is successful, it's going to go to a lot of other locations. I was telling you this before we went on the air. And after hearing the story about Arizona, I'll be goddamn. I'm coming to Arizona, and I'm going to run a show.
Well, like this. If you run a show, you got to collab with KingSlayer Wrestling. We're changing the scene. We're changing the scene for Arizona. We're making it a...
I do not mind to come in and ruffle some feathers in situations that feathers need to be ruffled. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but what comes with me isn't me. Like, I'm cool. Don't get me wrong. We're a cool channel. We're great. That guy comes with me. And this guy has contacts for 2.5 years since we've been doing this channel. And if they really want to fuck around and find out, Toddy, am I wrong? It is just a phone call. If they want to fuck around and find out. I'm not beating my chest, and I'm not puffing it out. I'm just saying, not a fan of bullshit. And I don't care if I piss them off. It is what it is. Yeah, well, if my shit's a success here, which is what I'm hinging everything else on it. If I can break even or come close, we're going on the road. And we're going to go on the road to everybody who's come and talked to us, who spent time with us on our channel. We're going to come to their city. We're going to rent their training facility. We're going to book local talent. We're going to bring in outside talent. We're going to have a good fucking time. We're going to sell some tickets, and we're going to have a good show. And I don't give a fuck if anybody has a problem with it. They can come talk to me about it. Assholes. Sorry. Yeah. There's my rant, Toddy.
Oh, no. I love the energy, man. That's why I'm telling you, like, when you honestly look at the numbers in a standpoint, when you see like how much money there is to be made, but just in general, like when you just like do the whole evaluation of like what it takes to run a promotion, and then like when you do the numbers and stuff, it's just like it's an eye opener. It's like, wow, it's like, okay, it's like now it's time to put the suit and tie on, and you know what I'm saying? It's the main thing, it's like you want to have fun. You want to make sure everybody's having
Yeah.
fun. You don't want to be forced to be like, oh, yeah, I gotta go here today. Oh yeah, I gotta go wrestle with these jerks, or like nobody wants to do that. You know what I mean? And it's just like I said, I thought being from New York, I thought that was being rough, but man, out here in Arizona, I can't even tell you, like it's a dog eat dog world out here.
Well, it's that way
crazy.
everywhere. And I hate to say that, and I hate to be that way, but in some places, negativity is not as prevalent in others. I'll say that, and just take it from somebody who we watch stuff all over the world. We're not just here in the States. We have an international audience. We have an international market. We have international shows with international talent. We collaborate with people all over the world, and I see a lot of positivity out there. But I get a little red-assed when I hear stuff that I've heard tonight. Like that bothers me, and that just it is what it is. I'm not trying to dwell on it by any means. Let's talk about the future, because we all go through things and deal with situations, and we learn something from it. And what it sounds like, what you've learned from this situation is what not to do, and to turn that around. How many shows have you guys done, or are we just ground level with this right now?
Yeah, so I'm telling you, there's so much like going on, like there's so much like chirping and just so much like this momentum going on to this. So we haven't had a show yet. Our first debut show is actually August 23rd. It's at Bullshooters in Peoria, Phoenix, Arizona, 35th in Peoria, and that's it's called a VIP Slayer Hour, and we're in collaboration with IZW, and they have it's about like a 3 hour show, and pretty much this is like our debut. This is like a sneak peek. This is like kind of like the Ring of Honor before AEW, and we put together 4 matches that we're kind of like letting like the world know, hey, look, this is going to be different athletes that you don't see here in Arizona. This is going to be more of a show feeling, not just a hey, I'm coming to support this person, this person. This is actually going to be like a show, and pretty much just we we have a lot planned. We already have like a whole. I don't want to release so many details, but we already have a whole. We're booked pretty much until December of next year. But we start off, like I said, in August 23rd. Our solo debut show. That's actually going to be in December. That date is going to be released soon. But that's actually going to be our first solo show. And then we do have another solo show. I'm not going to. Well, this is the only thing I could say.
Don't
you
say
guys have
anything
to
that's
follow
going to
along
piss your
KingSlayer
partners
Wrestling.
off. Don't say anything
You
that's
guys will
going
have
to piss
to.
your partners
No,
off.
no, they know. They want me. They want me. They already told me. They're like, hey man, like
Okay,
tease it,
man.
tease
I'm
it, but
just saying,
tease
man.
it,
We
tease it
got one of them
appropriately.
in chat.
Tease it
I don't want to
appropriately.
be that guy.
So, put it like this. Put it like this. Next year, there's something big's gonna happen. Something big's gonna happen. And this is gonna be one of our second solo shows. And let's just say,
You got dates
it's
on
not gonna
somebody, don't you? You
be.
got dates on somebody, don't you?
It's not gonna. Let's just say it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be a regular average show.
You got dates on somebody, don't you?
We're
All you got to do is
we're
say yes or no, and just
heavily
say yes or no.
we're heavily invested. We're heavily invested into something, and
Okay, all right.
I can't give away date. If
Okay.
I say a
Nope.
date, if
Nope.
I say
Nope.
a
You don't have to
date,
give dates. I
I'm
just say
done.
when I say
I'm
you got
fried, man.
dates, I mean
can't.
you're talking to somebody and you got somebody locked down. And so that's what that tells me.
Oh,
It tells me that you guys need to be paying
oh,
attention to KingSlayer Wrestling KingSlayer Wrestling AZ over on Instagram. So that tells me, guys, you probably need to go hit that follow button. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just did. It takes 2 seconds.
yes. Because put it like this: there's somebody that I never thought that we would that they would be literally wrestling at KingSlayer. I was like, wow. I was like, this is gonna be huge. Like, this is.
Do we know? Can you give away the month of the show too? I'm just trying to see if I need to make a trip. Is all I'm trying to figure out. I just need to see what the time looks like. Because if my first show goes well, my second show's in February and it's in Southern California. I already got that date nailed down.
So, the only hint. I'm trying to give you an appropriate hint where, like, John's not going to get mad at me.
Nope. Then we move the fuck on. Toddy, what do you got? Let's change the subject because we don't want to get into anything to where somebody will get in trouble. We ain't trying to do that. I think
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
I think I've already done that enough today on this show. Toddy, what do you got? Let's go to you.
Well, I think you're going to be very successful with that because I do think that good things happen for good people. And it seems like you have assembled a really good team. And from what I know about business, you have said all the keywords, you have the meetings, you have the conversations. And when something is not going to work, you don't try to force it. You go back and you're like, all right, let's make it work. And you're putting in all the hard work now to where it's going to take off, and then the reputation is just going to continue growing, and the experiences that you've had are only going to make you a better promoter, for yourself and for all the talent that are involved, and also the fans that are coming to see you. So I do appreciate you sharing that, and that is some insight that we don't really get to have because you're always like bam, 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 bam with the things, and we always run out of time. But I do appreciate you sharing that with us. So now you have your business partner, you have all these plans that are going for the show. And it sounds like you are making this welcoming and accommodating for the talent. Like, are the talent responding, or are you reaching out, or are they even coming to you? Like, what's that relationship like? Without, of course, giving names or anything.
So, put it like this.
Yeah, who's coming to the second show? I'm sorry. No, go
ahead. So I could say this. So John, my business partner, he has been a major part in this. He's been reaching out to talent. Talent's actually been reaching out to him. And our page, I can't even tell you, we've been getting tons and tons of messages from wrestlers who are very interested, that really want to earn a chance to showcase what they have, and they want to help, of course, like make KingSlayer Wrestling, make us make us stand out. And it came to the point where I was running the social media in the beginning. Then I was like, hey, I can't do this. I was like, this is just it's too much.
It sucks.
And then like when John was sending me, like, he was like, hey man, so like we are bombarded with this and this, and I'm just like, oh man, it's a lot. But talent has been great as far as getting everything scheduled. If you guys have already seen on the page, we have 4 matches scheduled for the 23rd, and pretty much like I said, talent has been amazing. Communication and understanding that, hey, like like we're new to the valley, that we're trying to start something fresh, that we want to give people opportunities, and that this is mainly what this is. KingSlayer Wrestling is this is a peaceful land of opportunity, where it's like, hey, like you're going to be able to show your true talent, and this is going to be what, like I said, we're trying to get out of state wrestlers. We're not trying to get like people that are like that we see consistently, like on a monthly basis. We are trying to bring new faces. We're trying to expand out of Arizona, and my goal is to be a traveling promotion in the next 2 years. It's going to take some time. It's going to take patience, but that's my goal. I want to be a traveling promotion, and we're going to be put like this. That's the only hint I'm going to give you, is that we are going to be doing some traveling this year. That's the only hint.
Okay, all right,
That's
man.
wonderful.
So we are going to be doing some traveling.
I
can't. Nothing else.
I'm going to be doing some traveling too, to fucking Arizona, and I'm going to bring some of my friends with me. That's what that sounds
Come
like
on
to
down,
me.
Hey, August 23rd, man.
I'm still like I can't do anything in August, brother. I've got what the next I literally. So fun fact, this is a 40-hour plus job right here, and I've got another 40+ hour job on the side. Well, not necessarily the side, the real job. This is the side job. I have not been off work between real shit and this for the last 60+ days. Starting tomorrow, I'm mandatory till August 15th from 8 a.m. to 8 or 9 p.m. every day. It's non-negotiable. Oh, and by the way, I'm supposed to drive to Orlando on the 14th to go to a show, and I don't know if they're gonna let me off work to do it or not. But
God bless.
But see, here's the deal. Like we do this because we love to do it. This is our platform. When I tell you we grassroots this motherfucker since day one. It has been grassrooted since day one. I have turned down help because I don't want it. I'd rather our stuff grow organically, and because we're genuine people. This is, you talked to us before we came on the air, and when I come to Arizona, and I'm sure Toddie's probably going to come with me. When we get to Arizona and we meet you face to face, we're going to be the same fucking people that you talk to on the show, and that's just who we are. We are genuine and we're authentic, and we try and keep it 100 and do it in a respectful way. I think that the fact that you didn't take no for an answer, I appreciate that. I still don't know how to feel about that situation. I'm gonna I'm gonna have to think about that, because I am not a fan of anybody telling anyone else that you can't do this, or if you go work for them, you don't work for me. That kind of bullshit is what kills professional wrestling. Period.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what we stand for. That's not what this platform stands for. That's not for, reality is the more places that are out there, it does several things. It strengthens your own market, and it gives guys other places to work. And and by the way, now, excuse me, you got to be fucking creative, because you have an audience that might split, or goddamn, in my case, I would just go watch both because I love professional fucking wrestling. This ain't complicated, folks.
Exactly.
It's been fun, man, to sit down and chat with you for a little bit. Now, I do want to ask you a couple of questions. So, as you're cruising through this thing, and you guys are moving in the right direction, which I think is tremendous, because the graphic work over on the Instagram page is fantastic. So whoever's doing that, for sure, they rock on, because they look great. And the second piece of this is, with you said a minute ago that some of the, I guess, the talent's not, you said that Arizona's not seen them before. So are a lot of talent coming in from out of state or out of area from where you guys are going to be running from? Because I'm just kind of curious about that piece of it. Are you guys bringing people in?
Yeah. So I was gonna say, first things first, I just want to shout out Zach McCormick. He's actually our graphics guy. I can't even tell you, like, Zach. He has been spending like countless amount of hours. Like, he's a busy man himself. Like, literally the same exact work schedule that you mentioned. He pretty much has the same amount of, like, the same hours, all that, and then he puts in the time to, between doing promo shots and then putting out this for us. So it's like, Zach, thank you so much. But we have a mixture of California talent, Las Vegas talent, and I want to say there's a little bit of Arizona talent, but we're mainly trying to focus on like Vegas, California, Texas. I'm sorry, yes, and there's Texas talent too that we have. But as of right now, our main area of talent, Vegas, Texas, and we have a little bit of Arizona and California. But my goal, I was actually just speaking with somebody from Tennessee, and they actually they wrestled out in just like Douglas, Arizona, or I forgot like where, but pretty much like Tennessee. I was like, okay. So I was trying to get like just like in general, like like how like the out of state, they'll have the travel fee and like how the whole rates go and stuff. But like this, it's hard when you want to discuss with talent where it's like, hey, like okay, like so we want you out here. What is it you need from us? And then where it's like, all right, hey, so there's the rental, there's gas, there's this, there's this. It's like, all right, hold on. You know what I mean? So it's very, right now it's like
you gotta think about it. You do. I'm in that same boat.
exactly.
Like my show, straight
You know?
up. I'm bringing in Alex Bryant. I have no qualms about it. But we've had Brian on the show several times. He's a very fucking cool dude. And is we do a wrestling trivia. He's my tag team partner. Like so, to me he has done so much for us on this channel just by giving us some time and attention. That's my biggest expense on talent, and I'm okay with that because like whether the show draws or it doesn't, the dude's been so gracious with us. Like I don't care, but I understand where you're going. You gotta pick and choose. I legitimately am in the same process right now because I've had people that, and shockingly, that have DM'd me and was like, "I've heard you're thinking about doing a show. You got a spot?" I'm like, dude, like, hold on, let me see what's up. But I'm still in the crowd. But that's why I get it. It is a battle, and I don't want people to be get upset or offended because you have to make those decisions. At the end of the day, it's a business, and what's best for you and your business for what you're trying to pull. Now,
exactly.
I do have here's another question for you because you mentioned several states, and there's several states that I do know people in, young and hungry, talented guys. And if asked, I'm gonna shoot them your way. I'm gonna say hit up KingSlayer, and y'all see what happens. I don't know what their process is or anything of that nature, but I would throw some people your way if you're looking for some folks out of Texas in the Houston market. I think specifically it's kind of in the general area, give or take. There's a whole crop of guys right there that are doing some good stuff.
Trust me, Texas, that's been a big state that I've been eyeing out. I know, I believe there is a certain not a promotion, there's a certain training facility ran in Texas. I think it's or I think it's out of Texas, but I know Gino Rivera, a familiar wrestler. I don't know if you heard of his name, but
yeah, I think so.
Or I think it's New Mexico. I think New Mexico actually, but yeah, I think he runs out of New Mexico. But he always mentioned Texas. Like everybody always keeps saying, a lot of the Texas guys hit up Texas people from Texas because they want to work and they have a different style of wrestling that you don't see, and that's why I'm very focused on that. But again, it's just what I mean. It's like there's a few people that I eye out in Texas where it's like, hey, they would fit perfectly at KingSlayer, but then it's like, hey, what's their rate? And then when you have that, discussion, it's just like, ooh, all right, okay, this is like our first show, and it's like, yeah, I don't think we could afford to bring you out right now, but we're gonna put you definitely, on discussion for let's say like 2-3 months down the road. But no, I'm telling you, man, like Texas is a big area that I'm doing a lot of scouting, and I'm actually going up to Texas in September for the Giants Cowboys game, so I'm going to be out there. Actually meeting up with some talent too, so hopefully negotiate some stuff. So, but yeah.
Well, before we start winding this down, I do want to mention something to you because you mentioned at the top of the broadcast that you're still training, and coincidentally, we just had a guy who said that he was kind of in your situation. He's like, I'm getting told to do all these things, and he's a bigger guy, and he said it wasn't until I started talking to Keith Lee and training with him that everything started to click. Have you looked into training with somebody like around your same size that has been doing this? And if you have, what's that been like?
So I'm actually with Rikishi. This was actually WrestleMania weekend. I actually went to WrestleCon, and he was actually like one of like the last people there. And I like went up to him. And I was like, "Hey, I'm not gonna ask you for an autograph. I'm not gonna ask you for a picture. I know you own Knox Pro Wrestling. and I was like, I really want to elevate, my wrestling career, and like, I hope that like make it to your school one day. And pretty much, he was like, I'm very, he's like, I'm familiar with faces. He's like, I'll remember faces. He's like, what's your name? I was like, Chris. He's like, Chris. He's like, okay. He's like, come down to the school, man. He was like, you come down here, and he was like, we'll make sure that we get you right. And he was just telling us stories about just Solo and his sons and everybody. And like he was saying, he was like, hey, he was like, you put in the work, I'll get you paid, man. He's like, I'll get you where you want to be. You put in the work, and pretty much just saying like, this is like a home to pretty much like all the wrestlers. And that's honestly been a goal. I'm really trying to train with Rikishi because I just feel that like that's going to be the right path for me, and I feel the type of mindset that I have and the words of wisdom he was giving. I was like, okay, I see that path eventually happening. It's just trying to get there. It's going to be tough. Like I said, like with running a business and trying to wrestle and with my daily operation. But otherwise, that's going to be a goal for me as far as my next elevation with my wrestling career is to get to Knox Pro and train with Fatu. Yeah.
I like it, man.
We're gonna put that out. We're gonna put that out in the universe because I've been seeing and actually sharing a lot of the Knox Pro stuff because I like what I'm seeing, and anything that we can do to further professional wrestling, we try to do it. So I truly hope that you get there, and I think that's going to happen for you, especially with your drive and everything that you have going, and just who you are in general. We're gonna put that in the universe for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's that means a lot. Like it truly does. That's why like I said, like tying into like when my mother passed away, I've always told her like, and it's crazy because like she loved Rikishi too. Whenever he would come out with the glasses and do the dance,
Mhm.
and I remember having like a pair of sunglasses like when I was a little kid, and just like putting the hat on, and then whenever they would have like the SmackDown episode, I would just like do the dance too. And like, and she even told me before she passed away, she said, "Hey, that's something you want to do it. Like you put your mind to it, do it. Go out there and train with the man. So
Mhm.
I've always said to myself, I'm like, okay, like the time when the time is right, and it's slowly starting to get to that point, and those doors are starting to open, and it's going to be a goal, and I said to myself, I'm trying to at least get there by 2026. So it's on the path to happening right now. So
Oh
right
I
yeah.
now,
like
pretty
it.
much, I have a nice road that's like paved right there. It's just I just need to make it down there. It's just I'm all gassed up. I just need to make it down there. Pretty much.
It it just takes time and dedication, brother. That's all it takes.
Yep.
And we're living proof of that every day. The platform is living proof of that. Our calendar at one point in time was very bleak, and over the last 8 or 9 months, it's really gotten wild, and we have had such a blast being able to sit down and not only just sit and talk with you about professional wrestling, about you. We're getting to know more about you. We're getting to know you a little bit. We're getting to know your area and what you're doing. And we know with these conversations that we have, they just scratch the surface, man. And we do that intentionally because I do want people to come back. Our doors open to anybody in professional wrestling that, as long as you're not a dick bag, that wants to come on and chat and we have these conversations. I tell all my team and I tell everybody who comes on, I'm about long-term relationships over short-term gains any day of the week. And truly, it's been great to sit down and be able to talk with you a little bit because you come across really, really well, and you're well spoken.
Thank you.
You sound like you know what you're doing here, and you sound like you put a lot of thought and effort and energy into it. And if no one else says that, I can appreciate that because this is 24/7 for me, brother. So you're kindred spirit to a degree there.
Uh,
Uh, before we do
Thank
go,
you.
I do want to turn it over to you. Do you have anything that you want to say? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug on the way out? The floor is all yours.
No, thank you. Again, I just want to thank you for inviting me to the show. I had a great experience, and honestly, I just want to say everybody who's been watching, you know, live your dreams. Honestly, if you want to be a professional wrestler, if you want to become an actor, if you want to become like whatever it is, like don't ever give up. Always surround yourself by people who want to see you win. Always have a team that wants to succeed. Always have people that want to win with you, not against, not root against you. And I just want to say, KingSlayer Wrestling, it's it's going to be something game changing to Arizona. We're in no competition. We're here to change the game. We're honestly here to make a statement, and we're here to pretty much bring a healthy locker room and make sure that everybody has an opportunity to show their skills. And I just want to say to all my followers out there, catch me at Thunder Mountain Wrestling. That's my new home as of right now. But honestly, my new home starting next year is going to be KingSlayer Wrestling. I'm going to be starting from the bottom up. I'm going to be going against tough competition, but I'm going to earn my way to the top. Same thing goes at Thunder Mountain Wrestling. There's a belt that I'm coming after. It's going to be either the Vader Championship or the Thunder Mountain Wrestling Championship. And put it like this: the next time I'll be on the show, there will be some gold around my shoulders. So just stay tuned. KingSlayer Wrestling. If you're in the Valley, August 23rd, again, nonstop action-packed wrestling, bullshooters, KingSlayer Hour, VIP. Doors open up at 5:30. Bell time's at 6.
So you're telling me the next time that you're on the show, we're going to match? Is that what? Are you telling me we're gonna match the next time you're on the show? Is that what you're telling me? Does that take you to your childhood or a little piece of childhood right there, or old school? I got another one for you if you want to see anything. Like these are just my little toys. I forgot the winged eagle. I'm gonna start carrying these when I go out, and I'm not carrying them because I want to be seen with them. I'm gonna have a white Sharpie. And I'm going to start getting you guys to sign the back of the belts and turn them into my own personal collector's item. Because we talked to so many of you guys out there. And the reality is this. There's only 1 or 2% that'll ever make it to the WWE. But the beautiful thing about the indie scene right now is that and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon, is it's thriving. It's constantly moving forward. Gates are up, attendance is up, talent is up. You don't have to be signed to a contract nowadays to make money and to get out here and make a name for yourself. I would much rather spend my money on a replica belt like that and take it and have you guys sign it than take it to a signing and have someone else sign it. Because you guys are the future of the business. And you guys are the guys that are going to be out there that are entertaining us for years to come. Likewise, we'll be entertaining you by doing our nonsense. Like this is our wrestling channel that has just got a life of its own, and you never know where roads will take you. Toddy, we go ahead and say some goodbyes, and then we'll get out of here.
I truly enjoyed every moment of this conversation with you. Um, Hearing what this means to you, hearing how you got started, the passion, the drive. I love the resiliency that you have. And I think that that is why you're going to continue to go far. I think that Kingslayer Promotions is going to be astronomical because of that resiliency, because of everything that makes you who you are. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I can't wait to see where you are 2, 3 months from now. I'm definitely going to be following and definitely going to be sharing the things that you have going on, the things that Kingslayer has going on. And I can't wait. I cannot wait. I wish you nothing but success on your path to 2026 and seeing you with Knox.
Thank you so much. That means so much. And I promise, I'm telling you, like this is gonna be a big year. I can't even tell you how motivated I am. and just how, just in general, like I feed off energy. That's the type of person that I am. And when I mean, like, this has been one of the best conversations I've had all day today. You guys have been great. And again, like, thank you so much for having me today. And just stay tuned because I'm telling you, there's going to be so many more things and a few more announcements within the next upcoming weeks. Just I'm very excited to be a part of like I said, another wrestling journey.
I'm gonna tell you this: we better be the best conversation you've had all week. I don't know about you. I'm just saying. Listen, guys, this has been fantastic. You're actually closing out our streams for the next 2 weeks. You're the last show, unless it is a pop up if I get off early one day, which highly fucking unlikely. Excuse me. So the reality is this: it has been a pleasure to sit down and chat with you tonight. And for those of you who are out there watching, the easiest way that you can support independent wrestling is by sharing, and subscribing. It's been on the screen the entire show, right there, right underneath the man, Rampage Michaels. Catch him at Rampage_Michaels on Instagram. Smash that follow, and head over to KingSlayers Wrestling AZ and smash the follow there as well, so you can keep up with all things that's going on with not only Mr. Rampage Michaels on the wrestling side of the equation, it's also KingSlayers Wrestling, the company itself, as they're getting ready to take off and do some things down in Arizona. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when before I come down there and piss off the AWF. I've already decided I'm going to make that happen. And yeah, we'll see what happens there. For our esteemed guest, Mr. Rampage Michaels, for Todger Tabar Ramsey, I am Chris Page, and we will see you next time.